Hey everybody, so it's Mike Frieder again, president of On-Call Computer Solutions, and I'm so honored to be here with a couple of really amazing guests. I'm here with Bob Hereford, president and CEO of Innovative Solutions, and I've also got Matthew Scheid, who is a CMMC registered practitioner and compliance solution engineer extraordinaire, as I like to say. And so guys, I want to thank you for being on with us. We're doing a quick video just because there's we were talking about this experience that we had being a small business, being a service disabled veteran-owned small business, trying to get compliant with the DFARS regulations when it comes to NIST, SP 800-171, the upcoming CMMC certification requirements, and just all that stuff. And the thing is Bob and I, believe it or not, we have such a similar story, and we know if we have the same story, but yet from opposite sides of the fence, right? We help fix the problem. Bob's got the challenge to lay out. I know that if we're both seeing this problem, I know that you probably are too if you're seeing this video. So just a quick introduction. So Bob, you're the CEO at Innovative Solutions, a service disabled veteran-owned small business with a heavy focus on supporting defense and doing defense contracting, leading edge secure solutions in data analytics, data warehousing, cybersecurity, software audits, and more. I mean, really what Bob's company does is pretty incredible. But Bob, give us a sense, how long have you been doing government and defense contracting?
Well, thank you, Michael, for the introduction. Actually, my career with the federal government started back when I worked at Oracle for 18 and a half years. I was the lead sales rep for the United States Air Force. I left Oracle and started my own company in 2008-ish. And the first contract we won was with the United States Navy, doing some Oracle training. So it was then when we started to realize how profitable it was going to be actually working in the federal government.
Yeah, 100%. As I always like to say, when it comes to working for the United States DoD, I dream of clients that never have smaller budgets this year than they had last year, right?
That's correct. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's awesome. And I mean, it's for the best purpose, I can really think of to be in business, right? Supporting our country. So terrific. As you and I were discussing, these legal requirements with DFARS, NIST, SP 800-171, the upcoming CMMC certification process. I mean, this stuff really just got dropped in everyone's lap. I mean, we had been supporting defense contractors and their, IT and cybersecurity needs since 2003. You've been in business from, since 2008 with your own company. I mean, these things just didn't exist back then. And, it certainly, for any of us, it wasn't something in your normal wheelhouse, even though you're a technology company though, right? So can you talk about that a little bit, right? You guys know tech. Why is it such a big deal?
Well, the way that this, first came out from the CMMC AB board was pretty nebulous. But the clear part of it is that it was going to affect everybody that was working in the federal government or the defense industrial base. And if you didn't have this, you would not be able to do government contracting.
Yeah, 100%. And then, a lot of companies didn't even know back in 2017 when they actually passed the laws requiring, forget about CMMC, but, also the DFARS and NIST, regulations and compliance mandates. So, and we were kind of talking, and you were telling me a story about when you first went looking to get compliant and you wanted to find out how much it would cost to get the help you needed as a service disabled veteran-owned small business. Tell me a little bit more about that experience of trying to find help with this.
Well, so we really do lean on our local PTAC, which is a great organization all around the United States. We went to the first meeting that they had on CMMC, and they had a firm there, a large cyber firm, that was basically talking about NIST 800-171, DFARS 7012, kind of laid out what the, all the controls and the requirements were. And at the break, I asked the guy, you guys said, you got to tell us what this is going to cost. Almost everybody here is in small business. And he said, well, it will range from 50,000 to 160,000. And I'm like, it will what? And I don't normally blow up at, public meetings, but this was like, I told him, I said, well, we're going to need to change our whole marketing philosophy and thinking about the federal space, and we'll just have to go and do the commercial space.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, kind of speechless. Every time I hear this story, I'm kind of speechless. But if you're watching or listening to this video right now and you're hearing this and you're sort of blown away like I am, okay, I have to share my own personal story, right? So we are a niche company in the sense that we are a managed IT services company, in our primary international division. But we really have always specialized in working with defense contractors. And I got to tell you, when you think of defense contractors, you don't think of small businesses. You just don't. But yet the defense industrial base is largely made up of small businesses. Not everybody's a Lockheed or a Raytheon, a base system, something like that, right? So I mean, there are hundreds of pages of technical mumbo jumbo in this regulation. 100 technical controls you have to meet with, government regulations, policies, training. I mean, the list of what is required is vast. I mean, that's the only way I can really describe it, right? So for a while, I got to tell you, we weren't targeting small businesses either. And you know what? We had 6-figure price tags to touch us as well. But I have to tell you, Bob's story is not unique. I wish it was, but it wasn't. And so I have to sort of share the story. I told Bob, he hasn't really heard the story yet, but I said, man, I got a story just like yours. And I got to tell you, I said, I was standing in for a member of our sales team, just like Matt. It was during the holidays, I think back in maybe 2019 or something like that. And, CMMC was really just starting to sort of take hold. We've always been practicing DFARS and NIST since it came out. And I took a call from an amazing woman, and she was something like 84, I think. She had her son right next to her, helping her on the Zoom call. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Usually when I get into one of these sales consultations, I'm staring, very much like I am right now, a very professional office, conference room, maybe American flag in the background. That's the kind of stuff I'm used to when I'm talking with defense contractors, right? Big companies. So I'm staring instead at my grandmother's living room, basically. And the only thing that was, we weren't talking about dinner on a Saturday night or sports. We were talking about a new compliance standard and her defense company. And her company had 2 or 3 people in it, and was going to have to comply with this in the same way that every single defense contractor and subcontractor does. No different, by the way, than a Lockheed or a Raytheon. So imagine this, right? It's you, Bob, you're a small business. Again, this particular, I'll call her a young lady out of respect, right? Her small business, and you're literally held to the same standard that a Lockheed or a Raytheon is. That's an uphill battle, to say the least. So I walk her through our totally done for you solutions, where we handle everything for the client. And at the end of it, I hit her with what was at the time the lowest price we had in our inventory. I was kind of scrounging around, like I was like an awkward moment for me, thinking to myself, man, I know this person is 2 or 3 employees wide. And I got to tell you, there was a really hard pause. I hit her with the price, and it was just the hardest pause. And I felt like, man, I might have given this poor woman a heart attack. I mean, I might have been the one to put the nail, in grandma's coffin. I felt terrible. And I mean, I can't make this stuff up. And then she made she said the most profound thing to me. She said, Mike, your solution is perfect, honey. But if I pay you this money, I can't pay myself for the next 3 months. And it was right there, Bob, in that moment, right there, I had like an epiphany, right? It was like the angels came down, and they're like, yo, Mike, you got to wake up, dude. Like, it's cool that you've, gotten this awesome, profitable company. This is great. But man, there's small businesses out there that need the knowledge, skill set, and talent that you've got in your company. And I really had an aha moment right then and there. And, and I'll tell you, I just look back at one of my team members and I go, hey man, can you get me like a working rate on what this guy cost me so that I can just help her out? And that's what it kind of started out as. It was like, I don't want to say a charitable contribution, right? There's no such thing in business, but really I was like, what's my cost on actually providing the manpower to do this? Let's get her the help. And, there's some other things about the story that are very unique, but ultimately, I decided in that moment that I personally hated the idea of having to make a small business owner, let alone a service disabled veteran-owned small business, who's serving our country, playing their part, supplying our Department of Defense with desperately needed goods and services. I hated that idea of making that person choose between paying themselves, right? a lot of business owners probably watch this video just like you, or following the law. So this is a choice, right? Pay yourself or don't pay yourself and follow the law. I recognize it, dude, how complex this thing is. That's exactly what was going on. And it really was that simple. And not just for her, but for every small to mid-sized defense contractor who needs to be secure and compliant, but also has to stay profitable. And I don't know, my God, Bob, like feed themselves, you know? I mean, yeah, it's tough enough just to be in business, let alone crack a profit. So, I mean, we had to do something. So that's why we came up with our micro programs for the small to mid-sized defense contractor, especially the small to mid-sized service disabled veteran-owned small business that we so desperately in the defense industrial base need. I mean, these are the guys that are veterans. They've got the insider knowledge, but yet they're going out to help from the outside where we need it. There are programs designed to have prices that are affordable for the smaller businesses, yet feature our hallmark done for you approach where the client really doesn't have to do anything, but show up and collaborate with us to get compliant. It's kind of the perfect solution to keep those who wear many hats in smaller businesses able to get it done and get back to focusing on what's important to them. So I'm sorry for taking so long to tell that story, but I feel like it's kind of, what's so cool about that is, I think literally over 150 plus small defense contractors later, hundreds of businesses we've helped, but, probably over 150 have been really small ones, or at least certainly mid-sized 50 or less. So Bob, tell me this, you got your socks knocked off by the pricing you found in the market, but then you found on-call, and tell me what that was like.
Well, the search was long. I basically came back to the office after that meeting with PTAC, and I was like, somebody has got to be doing this at a reasonable price. And I probably spent a day or so searching for you all. And the thing was, when I found you and talked to your sales rep, I really was blown away, but I'm very cautious. So I took your solution, went down to the PTAC, showed them, and they said, no way. No way can somebody do that. And so we had a little bit of a chat there, and I was like, it's a choice of throwing a nickel down the drain or paying $150,000 for something that you still are only a portion of the way to your CMMC. So I was like, what the heck? And, we signed up, and a day and a half later, we had our customized POAM, our security documents, and our policies and procedures. And I went back to PTAC and told them, and they're like, well, they're just templates, right? And I actually brought the documents with me in a binder, and I showed the page one of them to them where it's got our name and our network and all the information about us. And they're like, how could they do that? And I said, well, innovation comes from small business. It doesn't come from the large guys.
So true. Yeah. Bloating big price tags do, though. It's kind of unfortunate. But and here's the crazy part, right? This is not even a unique story. I mean, we've interacted with SBDC frequently, PTACs all over the country. And, a lot of the PTACs now have actually reached out to us. We're big supporters of PTAC. We love manufacturing as well. So we do a lot of MEC. And we're just huge fans of small business. And you know what? No, you can't template this. It's got to be customized, but we've got so much experience doing it. And I got to tell you, a lot of it relates to our whole methodology. We believe it can be affordable. We believe it can be simple. I wouldn't say simple, but we believe that there is a process that can be followed. And you know what? I'm going to tell you, real talk, right? It's not the world's most profitable thing for us when it comes to what we provide for small to mid-sized defense contractors. Believe me, if you're a defense contractor, you're over 5,000 employees, we got lots of them, it's a six-figure or multiple six-figure price tag to work with us due to the complexity that's involved with this, okay? But I will tell you that it makes us feel good to help level the battlefield for our service-disabled, veteran-owned small businesses that we support, and we're pretty proud of that low price point again, as you can tell by what Bob is saying, right? It's throwing a nickel at a forest fire, right? It's not a price that's going to scare anybody off. We made it that way on purpose. And yet I promise you're getting every ounce of that same high quality service and solutions that we deliver to larger companies. We just really felt that it was critical to scale this thing down. And then I'm not going to kid you, right? We're creating some jobs doing this. We might not make a whole ton of money off those positions, but you know what? We're doing something good for the country. And sometimes that might, I'm not saying it really should, but maybe that sometimes might just be a little bit more important. If you believe, like I believe, that our country's got a right to its own privacy and information security away from our enemies, and that the key to our survivability is exactly this kind of stuff. I just believe that maybe putting profit first in this instance wasn't quite so important. Believe me, all right. If you're a defense contractor with over 5,000 employees, one, our price is still competitive. Two, I want your business because it helps me push out these micro programs. But in all seriousness, we're just really proud to be able to provide this program to people that are desperately in need of a real affordable solution, and one that doesn't just take months and months and months to roll out as well. So,
well, Mike, let me interrupt right there, because I will tell you, we had a little interim stop before we got a hold of you guys. And that interim stop was my chief operating officer was a security officer and a comms guy in the Air Force for over 30 years. And he took a look at, I said, Walt, I need you to take this, go away for a couple of days and come back to me and tell me, how long is this going to take you to do? And Walt is extremely detail orientated. He's a perfect fit for a chief operating officer. Walt came back and said, this will take me 12 to 18 months. And I'm like, Walt, I can't afford to have you gone for 12 to 18 months. And that's actually when we turned the switch and said, okay, on call, put your, put your product where your mouth is, and let's see what happens. I was absolutely blown away when we got to the end of the first day and a half, and the tech guy said, okay, we're done. I'm like, we're what? Yeah, we're done. I said, I'll send you the stuff here in a couple of hours. You'll have it. And I mean, I still have the original zip file that he sent us. And I'm just, we're plugging away through that. We're getting very close. And that part of it is absolutely the golden rod in that is on call. Otherwise, we would have just turned the business around and started focusing strictly on the commercial side.
100%, man. And I can't imagine. I mean, it's just, I can't imagine taking a wealth of resources in what you guys do and removing that amazing pool of expertise and capability from our defense industrial base, right? And if you're out there and you're even considering the same decision, we know that there are going to be companies that walk away from defense because of this. What I would say is, first, reach out to Bob and his team. They are amazing liaisons for us. They're incredible ambassadors. And again, they can guide you to us. And most importantly, we do it because Bob's Bob and his team. They're service disabled veteran-owned small businesses. They've succeeded. They've gotten compliant. They're working through all their temporary deficiencies now, and they also have walked the walk that you're going to have to walk. And so, who better to make that introduction than these folks? So, best of all, Bob is not only one of our amazing clients, but he's become really a brand ambassador for us. So, if you're looking for this kind of help, and you're thinking, man, how can I just get through this? I would say just reply to this email, or however it is you found the video. Go find Bob, Innovative Solutions, or there's usually a self-scheduling somewhere. Maybe it's a description in the bio, and reach out to him. He can sort of discuss with you what your situation is. Make sure it's going to be a match. You don't have to talk to anybody on our sales team. You don't have to talk to any of our engineers. And then again, he can sort of help you not only win with the compliance end of things, but also probably give you some amazing mentorship and advice as well. Again, we all just want to see the small veteran businesses in our defense industrial base succeed. And one more just sort of a quick thing. I think one of the other things, Bob, if I recall, that was really just a total sort of, green light go moment is we are the only company with an enduring exception from the CMMC accreditation board who is authorized to offer a money back guarantee in our services. If you have CMMC certified people on staff, we have like 6 teams of people that do this. And there's a code of ethics, and you're actually not allowed to offer money back guarantees. They've got real concerns over the ethics of it and things like that. We've been doing this since long before there was ever a CMMC AB. All right. I mean, really, defense has been our jam since 2003 when we started. And we said to the CMMC AB, we said, hey, listen, you got to make an exception because we've already been doing this for way before you were ever around. I'm not changing what I do because I think it gives people real confidence that we will deliver. And our solution is so different. Our methodology is so different from anything else in the marketplace that I think this, frankly, it's just me. It's our reputation. I don't ever want anyone to risk a single penny to find out what it's like to work with us. And I think when we talk about throwing that nickel in the forest fire, that's really what it's all about is, listen, you can pay us. And if we don't get the job done, we'll just give you money back. I promise, especially if you're a small to mid-sized business, it's, we care way more about helping you get compliant than we do about bringing in the money that we charge for doing this. And that's real talk. Now, listen, if you got 5,000 employees plus, give us a call. All right. You're our bread and butter. We'd love to help you, but I've got dedicated teams that are just perfect to take on those small to mid-sized defense contractors. And most importantly, we just think it's just such an important thing to do to help companies like, Innovative Solutions and Bob and his team out with what they do. And most importantly, help them win more defense contracts, win bigger awards with higher marks in information security and compliance. So awesome. Bob, thanks so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it. And guys, if you're struggling like a lot of people are right now, you're banging your head against the wall, trying to figure out how to get compliant, reach out to Bob. He knows exactly what to do. And most importantly, he's not the guy that's going to do it. He's not going to sit there and sell it to you. Bob is someone like you who's gone through this himself. So thanks for joining us on the call, everybody. And really appreciate it. And best of luck out there winning those contract awards.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks for joining us.